Get ready for a massive energy shift. The House committee is diving deep into how data centers are exploding electricity demand, and we are looking at the staggering projections for ComEd territory. We break down exactly what this means for the power grid and what the utilities are trying to do to keep up with this unprecedented growth.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the regulatory roadblock facing data center oversight in North Dakota. We examine why the North Dakota Public Service Commission is currently unable to provide key transparency to Senator Richard Blumenthal, even as a major project near Fargo moves forward, and what this lack of authority really signals for future infrastructure development. Then, we pivot to the tech giants driving this revolution. We investigate how ARM is positioning itself for a massive revenue surge, expecting data centers to become its primary market, and how the new AGI processors are fueling this transformation and setting the stage for billions in future revenue. Finally, we turn to the community impact. A new Stockton poll reveals that a majority of New Jersey voters are backing bans on local AI data centers, driven by huge concerns over energy costs and environmental strain. Stay with us as we unpack this complex debate and what it means for the future of AI infrastructure. Data centers are poised to dramatically increase energy demand in the ComEd territory, potentially doubling electricity needs by 2040, a challenge that is straining Illinois' current energy supply. This critical issue was brought to the attention of a House committee during recent hearings, highlighting a significant gap between projected demand and existing infrastructure capacity. Brian Granahan, director of the Illinois Power Agency, noted that the customer connection queue already reflects a much higher demand profile than historical averages. Representatives from major electric suppliers, Ameren and Commonwealth Edison, confirmed that a majority of large load projects in their pipeline are data centers, forecasting substantial future demand. Max Leichtman, director of Economic and Workforce Development at ComEd, warned that if all pipeline projects reach capacity, requested demand could more than double the system peak it achieved 120 years ago, by approximately 2040. However, Leichtman stressed that staggered load additions are crucial for utilities planning and evaluation. Addressing the supply deficit is a key focus. Granahan indicated that provisions within the 2025 Clean and Reliable Grid Affordability Act, CRGA, will be vital, granting the Illinois Power Agency more authority to pursue new generation. Other CRGA initiatives, such as energy efficiency programs and virtual power plant programs, are also being leveraged to manage demand. When questioned about building new supply, Granahan stated that while the IPA is evaluating the viability of closing gas and coal plants, assessing regulatory hurdles for new nuclear power following Governor Pritzker's order, and considering the timeline for new wind and solar farms, implementation will take time. The Virtual Power Plant Program, which allows homes and businesses with solar and batteries to pool energy for peak demand management, is highlighted as a faster, more diffuse solution. Regulatory measures are also being considered. The proposed Power Act includes requirements for data center companies to invest in renewable energy and mandates that these facilities be placed in their own rate classes to control costs. Citizens Utility Board Executive Director Sarah Moskovitz warned that without mitigation, the costs for serving these facilities could reach billions in the state over the next 24 years. To manage customer impact, ComEd designs rate structures to ensure high-demand customers do not subsidize lower-demand customers. Furthermore, Ameren requires large load projects to secure necessary infrastructure upgrades. While regional transmission organizations set wholesale prices, policymakers are focused on isolating cost increases to the direct cause of the demand, underscoring the complex policy challenges ahead. The final hearing on data centers, focusing on water concerns, is scheduled for April 22. North Dakota state regulators have stated they lack the authority to provide detailed information to federal officials regarding data center oversight, limiting their ability to assist Senator Richard Blumenthal with transparency efforts. The North Dakota Public Service Commission confirmed on Wednesday that it cannot furnish key data on data center transparency because it does not directly regulate these facilities. Senator Blumenthal had previously contacted public utility regulators in March to inquire about practices such as the use of non-disclosure agreements by data center developers, barriers to information access, and the public release of such agreements. Regulators plan to submit a response to the senator's request, but officials indicated the scope of the response will be limited. Randy Christman, chair of the North Dakota PSC, emphasized the jurisdictional limits, warning against establishing a precedent for responding to all congressional inquiries. He stated, "They don't come to us. We don't regulate them," and expressed reluctance to respond to requests from all 535 members of Congress. The discussion surfaced amid recent regulatory approvals for a major power project linked to a data center near Fargo. The commission granted a temporary variance for site preparation work, including grading, ahead of full project approval. This $110 million project involves constructing a new substation and a 1.74-mile, 345 kilovolt transmission line connecting to existing infrastructure. The facility, operated by Applied Digital, is projected to require up to 280 megawatts of power at peak demand. Dakota Power Cooperative will own and operate the infrastructure, while Applied Digital will fund the project upfront, with no cost passed on to other ratepayers. Despite the lack of direct oversight, the Commission confirmed it is monitoring data center development internally. Commissioner Sherry Hodgen-Hoffart added that the Commission is observing the situation within the state. Furthermore, the Commission declined to commit to releasing any non-disclosure agreements encountered during its work with utilities, stating they would adhere to North Dakota's confidentiality laws. Things that are trade secret protected would be protected, and things that aren't trade secret protected are open public information. Data centers are rapidly emerging as ARM's most critical market, signaling a significant strategic pivot for the chip designer. ARM anticipates that data center revenue will soon become the company's primary income source, shifting its focus away from mobile devices toward the burgeoning fields of AI infrastructure and server technology. This trend is fueled by the rapidly growing demand for processors designed to handle intensive AI workloads. The shift is supported by the increasing adoption of ARM architecture by major cloud providers. Companies such as Amazon and Microsoft have already developed their own data center chips based on ARM technology, underscoring the architecture's relevance in enterprise environments. This focus on AI was recently amplified with the introduction of the AGI processor line, specifically designed for agentic AI applications where systems operate independently. During the quarterly results presentation, CEO Rene Haas expressed optimism, stating that customer interest significantly surpassed initial expectations. ARM has secured commitments and generated demand exceeding $2 billion for the fiscal years 2027 and 2028. Haas highlighted that the AI infrastructure landscape relies on a combination of GPUs and specialized CPUs, presenting a prime opportunity for ARM. The new AGI processors feature numerous computing cores ideal for parallel AI tasks, and the CEO believes the market underestimates the necessary CPU capacity for future AI service rollouts. ARM projects that data centers will eventually constitute the largest business segment, with an expected annual revenue of approximately $15 billion derived from AI infrastructure. CFO Jason Child reinforced these growth expectations, forecasting that revenue from ARM's licensing activities could double to about $10 billion per year by 2031, with data center applications driving the majority of that expansion. Financially, ARM demonstrated strong momentum, reporting a 20% increase in revenue for the past quarter, reaching $1.49 billion, and nearly a 23% growth for the full fiscal year, totaling $4.9 billion. While the current quarter's revenue is projected at $1.25 billion, the most substantial financial impact from the new AGI chips is slated for fiscal years 2027 and 2028 as production scales up. Investor reaction to the outlook was mixed, with the stock experiencing an initial sharp rise following the results, but subsequently relinquishing a significant portion of those gains. A new statewide poll in New Jersey reveals growing voter apprehension regarding artificial intelligence and the data center infrastructure powering it. Conducted by the Stockton Polling Institute at the William J. Hughes Center for Public Policy, the survey surveyed 642 registered voters and was released on May 5, 2026. The findings indicate a significant majority of New Jersey voters are wary of AI and supportive of local restrictions on data centers. Specifically, 56% of voters would support banning data centers in their town, compared to only 22% who would oppose the measure and 21% who remained undecided. This sentiment is emerging as proposed and approved AI-related projects face resistance at local council and planning board meetings. The concerns surrounding data centers are multifaceted. Nearly half of voters, 49%, believe data centers cause more harm than good in host communities, with only 8% viewing them as beneficial. This unease is closely linked to broader skepticism about AI itself. A substantial 74% of voters believe AI will eliminate more jobs than it creates, while a plurality, 41%, anticipate that increased AI use will worsen their lives. Environmental and energy concerns are major drivers of opposition. About 81% of voters are concerned about how data centers could affect electricity prices, with 54% expressing high concern. Similarly, 76% are worried about environmental impacts, including energy and water usage. Residents in areas like Vineland and Kenilworth have voiced specific worries about water consumption, energy demand, noise, and long-term environmental effects. In response to this climate, voters show strong support for stricter industry oversight. The poll indicated 84% support requiring data centers to source their own power rather than relying on the existing grid, and 81% back tougher environmental and energy efficiency standards. Conversely, public support for incentives, such as tax breaks or subsidies to attract development, is low, with 72% opposing them. Regarding the state's overall strategy, a plurality of voters, 46%, favor encouraging data center development contingent on strict regulations concerning energy use and environmental impact. Only 35% support discouraging development entirely, while 12% favor a less regulated, growth-focused approach. Alyssa Morris, assistant director of the Hughes Center, noted that New Jersey's existing energy-intensive industries mean that data center growth will add to existing demand pressures. She added that the policy debate is ongoing, focusing on zoning, energy sourcing, and grid upgrades, while leaders face pressure to keep energy costs low for residents.